No, we're going to talk about YouTube ads now. And do you want to do YouTube ads?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get Brian.
All right. What do you guys want to talk about? I'll write some points down like Cole did yesterday. So you guys want to just start shouting out?
Well, I put pants on too.
Over that hurdle of starting a YouTube ad, what would be the easiest way to get an ad up and running?
Starting.
From my perspective.
Yeah, okay.
And it's probably something that
Yeah, your first 5K ad spend, what would be your recommendation?
Starting in budget.
YouTube ads for like local business?
Honestly, I've never really done local, so I wouldn't feel confident to speak on that.
Yours like whole.
All info products, online education, yeah.
Is it as easy as like creating, zip code or regional like Facebook? Do you know?
I know it is. I have friends that do it. I just personally don't. So I haven't gone through like a full setup process of that myself. But I'd be happy to introduce you to someone that could help you with that.
In the last 90 days with your agency, have you learned anything new that you have implemented, like some more cutting edge type things?
Like what's up to date right now?
Yeah.
What's working now? Cool. Sweet. All right, so let's start with starting. So there's really a few pieces to YouTube ads, right? And I'll break them down. So I'll put first, you have the creative, the account setup, targeting, launching, optimizing, and scaling. So for the creative, this is the first piece that you guys want to focus on when you're starting off. YouTube, I learned this from Tom Breeze, one of my first mentors with YouTube ads. YouTube is basically a platform that's like college, right? I compare Facebook more like high school. YouTube's more like college. People go to YouTube to learn or to be entertained, right? So with YouTube, you want to make sure that the creative is the most important focus, and this is actually what prevents people from scaling past, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a day, because they're trying to just focus on the targeting and the media buying, but they're not focusing on the creative. And so with the creative, the first is the script. All right, so the script is similar to what we learned yesterday. It's almost the same thing. I just have a few different ways that I learned it. This is the structure that I learned from Dean when I was working full-time for him, Dean Graziosi. You have the hook, you have the story, and you have the close. The hook is 15 seconds, the first 15 seconds of the ad, right? And this is where you want to do some sort of pattern interrupt. And the way you can do this is by asking a question, calling out your ideal audience, right? Asking a question, calling out your ideal audience, making a big promise or claim, and getting their attention. That's the biggest thing, because they only have 5 seconds before they skip. You don't have to do anything crazy here, but if you can combine those elements just right there, ask a question and call them out in the first second, and then make a big promise or claim, you've just done all three. Does that make sense? So one of the ways, one of our clients, Justin Thomas, he owns a company called Insurance Advertising Masters. He did this by saying, are you an insurance agent who's tired of relying on cold calling, word of mouth, door knocking, or bothering your friends and family just to get insurance leads for your agency? Everybody struggles with that. Everybody hates doing that. So now if you're an insurance agent, you're going to keep watching. If you're not an insurance agent, you're going to skip. Any questions on that? Make sense? Pretty basic, right? So then the story, this is 15 to 1 minute. And again, the key here is that you want to keep the story very short with the credibility. So underneath the story, you have credibility, which is 1 to 2 sentences max. Hi, my name is Brian Moncada. I'm the founder of adspend.com. We've ran YouTube ads for Frank Kern, John Asseroff, Bedros Keuilian, Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street, etc. And we've spent over $40 million on YouTube ads in the last 2.5 years. And we've helped hundreds of clients scale past 7 and 8 figures. Right? Very quick, very short, that's it. Right? Now I'm somebody worth listening to, but I'm not continuing down that route, right? Establishing credibility. And then what we're seeing working right now, more than anything, is going into the case study. Case study is some sort of social proof, right? And we've helped clients like this achieve X within X or within Y, right? And you're basically just using a case study from someone who you've gotten results for. So you're hooking them with something related to their problems, their pain points, their frustrations. You're establishing credibility by telling them a story of who you are, what you've done. You're then showing them a case study of who you've helped besides yourself, also establishing credibility. And then, I'll just move this down here. Now, you're educating, and basically you want to think of this as like the 1 to 3 bullet points as well that Clark, Vanessa, and Aaron Dowdy shared yesterday. So what are the 1, 2, or 3 things that you know your clients would be able to get results from if they just take care of one of those 3 things, right? So like maybe they're in their own head about, or maybe they have a myth about something that's keeping them from achieving the result, right? What's that myth you could break in this point 1, right? So problem 1. And then problem 2, and then problem 3. And here, just to keep it very simple, this should take like literally 45 seconds. All right, and then what you want to do is go into the close, and that is about 1 minute to 2 minutes. Now you can extend this out. The point with this though is you want to have ads that are less than 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes, but ideally you want to be in the 1 minute and 30 second mark now. 1 minute and 30 second mark. And you can do that pretty quickly with this format.
What if it's shorter than 1 minute? Is that too short?
We don't have any ads running right now that are less than 60. But it's not to say it couldn't work. I mean, Tim, I don't know if you have any that are less than 60.
Not that short.
I've had, but
It's just too short for cold traffic. Like
I found 2 minutes is up.
Yeah, anything less than 3 minutes. Ideally, you want to use as much, retail as you have, as much space. But 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes would be the sweet spot right now that we're finding. So that's the creative. And the cool part about this is, as far as equipment goes, one thing I'll share with you guys here that I also taught in YouTube is you can use your iPhone. There's an app that's called Prompt Smart Pro. It's a teleprompter on your iPhone. Prompt Smart Pro, it's $19. So if you have someone helping you write a script, or you wrote your script, and I can post the script template that we use. You write the script on the Google Doc, you copy the script into Prompt Smart Pro, and now you can film the ad on your iPhone, selfie style, and it'll be actually right here on this side of the screen, right next to the camera. And if you watch it back and you condense the text, it doesn't even look like you're reading a script, which is the best piece. So it's easy for you to get started because you don't have to worry about memorizing it line by line by line by line by line and making it perfect. And what I recommend is you film the first 5 ads on your iPhone, but you have 5 hooks, okay? So you want to have 5 hooks, and that creates 5 ads. Each hook's different, all right? So that's the creative. I went over this last time, but I want to review it here for starting, all right? And then, any questions on this before I keep going?
What's the word between case studies and problem 1?
Educate. Yeah, so it's basically just these right here. Problem 1. Yeah. Problem and solution. But you want to give them the what, not the how. What they should do to solve that problem, and then they can learn the how in the actual the training.
So just the solution is in the flows, or you see here's a problem solution?
Right here, actually I forgot to put this here. CTA number 1, between the case study and then the educating. And if you want to learn how to do this yourself after you show the case study, call to action. So it's still in that first almost 30 seconds to 45 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute. You can have a call to action right there. But then you can then get the people who don't click with the education, right? So a call to action earlier is what we've been experimenting with just because of the shorter time frame of YouTube ads. So right after the credibility and the case study, call to action.
How are you getting the CTA? 60 seconds? Click the link below.
Yeah, so like for example, the hook is, if you're an insurance agent who's struggling to get more qualified leads and you're relying on word of mouth, referrals, door knocking, and you're tired of, stressing out over that or whatever the hook is, we can help. My name's this, I've done this, I've helped this, one of our clients did this, and if you want to learn how to do exactly how we can help you with this, click the link, right? But the problem is most of you are focusing on problem 1, right? And then you do the solution, right?
So the call to actions are peppered in throughout.
Yeah, there's usually 3. Yeah, so you want to do CTA number 1, problem number 3, and then you have a CTA right here. I just don't have enough space. So CTA number 2 would be right after the problem number 3. And that's where you obviously pitch the free training. CTA number 1, you do the same thing. Close is where you have the CTA as well. But then here is where you want to overcome skepticism. So overcoming skepticism is just telling them what's going to happen next, especially if you're going B2C to a market who's not sophisticated and you're teaching them something. People still believe that they're going to get scammed by ads, right? So you want to show them where they're going to click, what the landing page looks like. So screen record someone clicking the ad or landing on the page and typing in their information to get the next thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. Overcome skepticism, and then urgency and scarcity. Why should they click the link? Is this, gonna go away? And then it's, basically painting the nightmare picture. What's gonna happen if they don't click the link? What's gonna happen if they don't solve this problem? What's the nightmare scenario if they don't fix this? Right? Paint that picture for them so they're like, I want to learn. I want to click this link. I want to solve this problem. So nightmare. And then CTA number 3. Make sense? Cool. So that's the script. And then again, you film this on your iPhone if you want to get started. And then Prompt Smart Pro, $19. You can knock these out pretty quickly.
Do you use this could you use this for a SaaS product like school or only info products?
I talked to Sam about it. I mean, you could. Any product and program could work with YouTube ads. It's just, is the offer right for the platform? School could work. We just got to know the LTV of the average school user, and then we can obviously make it work with those numbers if there's a clear path to revenue.
If we bundled it with a course, with 1 year subscription, and the course showed you how to make money, yes. But at $99 a month as a pure tool, it'd be very hard. You have to
Subscription would be
adapt the
tough.
offer.
Yeah. Yeah, like what Tony and Dean did really well with KBB was they sold the $1,997 Knowledge Business Blueprint. And then they had the software on the back end to use, to get the most out of the actual course. So they then funneled them to the software. So that would be the similar path with school.
What's the highest ticket you or your clients have sold on YouTube?
25, well, actually 30K. But that's sales funnel, like call funnel.
Yes. Going straight to a call or with the steps?
VSL, book a call funnel.
VSL.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Shorts. Well, yeah, account setup's pretty easy. So starting here, you want to create a Google Ads MCC. MCC is just a manager account. If you're used to Facebook terminology, it's just a Facebook Business Manager, but for Google. You want to have this because in case your ad account gets banned, which is underneath your Google Ads MCC, you can create new ones. Then you want to have Google Tag Manager. Google Tag Manager allows you to have all of your codes for tracking in one housing, like one domain. So you don't have a bunch of scripts on your funnel and it slows down the page load speed. And then you want to have, basically after that, you want to have YouTube channel.
Does the email and the tag manager have to be the same on the domain?
You mean like the two accounts you create it with?
So, you know, I created a tag manager, but it wasn't, I was having an issue with firing my pixel, but the email was slightly different than my actual domain. So I set up the second email that I use for sending out cold emails, and I use tag manager to that. Would that make a difference?
No. So you have a YouTube channel. What I recommend is doing a second YouTube channel. Like you guys heard yesterday with Vanessa, Clark, and Aaron, there's really no, I mean, running YouTube ads to get more subscribers is pretty expensive. We see on an average is anywhere from $1 to $3 per new subscriber, which can add up. And it's not the best strategy. Just to be clear, we don't do that for any of our clients. We found going cold with direct to conversion ads is what grows the channel anyways. So there's really no reason to run ads from your main channel, and it just skews your analytics. So you have two channels, one for your organic, for your content machine, and then one for your ads. And then last is gonna be Hyros, especially for call funnels, which is everybody here. Like, there's really no reason to be running ads right now without Hyros. You're just spending money on inefficient ad spend and campaigns that probably aren't producing you results, and you're just gonna make less money. We just don't work with clients unless they use Hyros. It's that good. So it'll save you a lot of time too, because Alex Becker's been, Alex Becker invented it in quantum. I think it was off your idea, so yeah.
You need Hyros right from the beginning, regardless of what your ad spend is.
What I've been telling people on YouTube is I've just been telling them, once you have your first few, like once you have calls being booked and you have your first sale, well, now you need to know where it's coming from. And usually it's not in the data on Google Ads. So now it's time to invest because you have the proof of concept. Yep. Because it'll track leads and calls, but it won't track the sales data.
I had a quick question on the multi-channel. So that was a really helpful tip you gave last time. So like tools like Vidtal, right, where you can like reverse engineer other people's. Does this keep you safe from that now if you have a second channel and it's not easily backed up?
Yeah, and here's the cool part. This is a pro tip. So, for example, we just recently onboarded a new client and they're running ads from their main channel with YouTube. And the problem with that is, to get to your point, is because YouTube ads are responsive now, which means they're no longer the ones you can just skip after 5 seconds. They're also showing up as basically suggested videos in your feed. If you guys all open YouTube right now, you'll see ads that look like regular YouTube videos, but they're ads. So you can click on that ad, but it'll take you to a YouTube video page like it's a regular YouTube video. But most of the time it's an unlisted video because it's an ad. However, people can now comment on those videos. And there was a client that we onboarded had like 15 negative comments. And people clicking on that ad are now gonna see those comments and probably not gonna convert because of just the comment section, like Facebook, right? You can see the comments and usually it's gonna skew the perception before you even get to the landing page. So what you should do for your ads channel, it's more than just diversification, but more than anything, it's keeping the ads separate from your main channel because your main channel is focused on organic growth and it's optimizing for something completely different. Your ads channel is only focused on getting conversions and you wanna actually disable comments on your ads channel. You can do that because it's just an ads channel. So now when they click on your video, they can't leave comments. It's just the ad.
Does that happen on only discovery though, right? Which was suggested?
It's basically, it's all in one now. So when you create it, well, with the bidding, I should be clear. With the bidding strategy of leads to get conversions, which is all what we're optimizing for here, it's responsive, right? There's no way you can separate it unless you do bidding by cost per view, which is like you want to pay for a specific cost per view. But that's going to optimize just for getting you as many views as possible for that cost. It's not going to necessarily lead to conversions. So I recommend having leads to obviously conversions, but using the target bidding strategies like.
If that happens, do you put a link in like the comments, like to?
Yeah. So I recommend also putting the link in the description. So like a headline in the description, and then the link that they can click in the description, and pinning. Well, no, because you'll have comments disabled, so you won't need it in the comments. So just make sure you put the headline of your landing page and then the link to the landing page in the description of the ads as well. And the crazy part is too, is you want to make sure now that your ads on your YouTube channel is titled properly. Because if someone clicks on the video as responsive, it'll say like hook number 1, right? Hook number 2. You want to make sure you actually title your ads like it was a YouTube video. Does that make sense? These are all small things that are tactical, but will play to your favor at scale.
One other question on that one, sorry, is so let's say you have your main channel, which was your organic channel, and you were running ads from that. Now you create the second channel, but you're gonna have ads run on that. Have you had any issues with the person putting that ad again on the new channel, then replacing it within the campaign?
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit to get going again, but from our experience, it'll usually probably take about 14 days to get ramped up. So, have you tested them on the new channel yet?
I haven't. I just don't want to like mess with those ones. It's like
Keep
all
those
the
campaigns running. Keep
all
them
the
running.
new ones I'm gonna bring from the other one, but I haven't
Duplicate them
swapped.
out, switch them on the new channel, and then give it 14 days, and I mean you'll be fine, dude. Your ad's crushed. So, yeah.
I have a question. I'm hearing a lot of like ads to VSL
Yep.
here. I mean, I used to always hear ads to webinar. I'm just wondering like what percentage of folks are sending ads to VSLs versus webinars? As webinars fell out of favor or something.
I wouldn't say, well, just my experience right now, every single client we run ads for is running high-ticket VSL call funnel with the sales team.
Every single one.
Every single one, yeah. They're also having a second offer, which is a low ticket, like self-liquidating, but the main driver is the high-ticket call funnel, VSL.
Okay. And what's like the lowest ticket?
Anywhere from $7 to $97. So it's like a free plus shipping book offer, because now they want to, basically pay for free customers with that to then funnel to the high ticket, because they want to lower the cost of, the cost per acquisition.
High ticket starting from like 3K upwards or something.
Say that again, sorry?
And what's the high ticket starting at? Is it like 3,000?
5,000.
5,000.
5,000, yeah. 5,000 and above.
Can you create that ad channel under same Google account, like ad, or does it have to be different email address or something?
You can create a brand new one. Brand new
Same
one.
same account.
You can create a brand new one. You can link any email you want to these.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool. So the targeting, all right? So that's the account setup, targeting. All right, so let me... Shout out to O's. I gave you credit in WeTube for this too, because you helped me visualize it. So when you're just starting off, you want to be very specific with your targeting, unless you have a very mass market offer. But a lot of people that I've been talking to in the room, they have very specific niches. If they go broad very fast, they'll waste a lot of money, and they'll say YouTube ads don't work. So after hearing O's speak after I did last time, and he drew this triangle, I was able to visually map out how we've been running ads for our clients, which we call the targeting timeline, to make it very easy for anyone to start with YouTube ads and get success immediately, and picture it in their head of what they need to do to scale and go broader. So here is scale, here is start. So when you start off, you want to get quick wins, you want to prime the conversion actions, and you want to be able to get quick sales, right? The way you do that is, instead of going broad first, what we found to work really well is we go after the lowest hanging fruit. We call it intent-based validation. We want to validate, especially if you're running a high ticket offer to a VSL call funnel that's not proven yet, you want to make sure that you get the conversions as quickly as possible so you can prime your account for scale. And the way to do that is by validating your offer, validating your creatives, because you have the ads now, you film these, you set up the account, you're ready to launch. We'll get into launching in a second, but for choosing your targeting, you want to go after, this is remarketing lists. So this is anybody who's visited your website, anybody who's visited your sales funnel, anybody who's visited your application page. If you're already running Facebook ads, you can use this, remarketing lists, right? Just throw up a campaign targeting people that have already visited your website in the last 30 days. Make sense? And then you want to go after YouTube audiences. So a lot of you here, especially like someone like Vanessa, for example, YouTube audiences. Subscribers is the first one you want to do. Last 30 days. And regardless of if you have a big YouTube channel right now, I would highly encourage you to go through these first steps of account setup and targeting, because you want to start creating these audiences right now. Google Ads can only retroactively get the data for the last 30 days. So as you're building your channel, as you're building your audiences, start creating these audiences right now, because then when you're finally ready to launch YouTube ads, whether it's tomorrow, a month from now, 2 months from now, you have this massive pool of people you can start showing your ads to, right? So for YouTube audiences, this is subscribers, anyone who's liked a video of yours, anyone who's shared a video of yours, anyone who's added a video of yours to a playlist of theirs, and then anyone who's viewed a video. So in that targeting timeline, subscribers is going to be the most warm, the most prime, the most profitable from our experience. And then liked video is going to be the next. And then shared a video. So we usually have those, depending on how big your YouTube channel is. If you're over 10,000 subscribers, if you're like 10,000 subscribers, I would combine subscribers, likers, and shared in one campaign. If you have a huge YouTube channel like Vanessa, Clark, or Aaron, you got to break them out individually. Just subscribers in its own campaign, just shared a video in its own campaign, just liked a video in its own campaign. Any questions on that? Cool. Low-hanging fruit.
Question for you, Brian. And I'm jumping the gun here, but when you talked about niching, let's say you wanted to target a specific website, let's ypo.com.org is someone who's pre-qualified to work with me for part of that organization. Would you recommend doing a specific video mentioning that we're targeting YPO members as the creative, and then link it just to one domain on the niche, or is that too specific?
So basically it's like you have someone you want to target and you're thinking about in the creative mentioning their specific name to...
just put it in the title, like what do you think is the...
Yeah, that's usually in the scaling phase, because what we do is we'll find keywords that, for example, let's say pre-IPO.
YPO.
YPO. So, okay, so then, what does that mean exactly?
It's Young Presidents Organization.
Oh, okay, yeah, Young Presidents Organization. And you're targeting them for your offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what I would do if you have that keyword and it's working, I would say, if you're looking to join the Young Presidents Organization, you're just using that keyword now in the hook.
Use that in the hook.
In the hook.
Okay. And then just direct it to that one domain within the niche when you target it.
Domain, I'm confused on that.
So, no, in the niche, when you're creating your audiences,
Yes.
you can, I think I was playing with this last
You can
night.
target a website.
Custom segments, yes.
Yes, that's,
Yeah.
thanks.
So custom segments, you have search, people typing in specific keywords, which will get, yeah. Yep.
They're all the members of that site.
Yep.
We're going to go to that domain to log in.
You would definitely want to run the ad with the Young Presidents Organization in the hook.
Would that just be one campaign in one subset of one?
Yep. And I'll go into campaign structure in a second, but 100%, yeah. So then you have keywords now. KW keywords. Keywords are like for example, YPO, Young Presidents Organization. It's a specific keyword that will show your ad on YouTube for any video that has that keyword in the title, any video that has that keyword in the description, any video that has that title or that keyword in basically the tags as well. So this.
What about the transcript? Aren't they auto-transcribing what's in the video too?
Yeah, it'll probably. Oh, I don't know about transcript. I don't want to speak on clearly on that. I haven't looked into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point. I should check into that. But if they're talking about it, they probably have something in the tags as well.
Sure. Yeah.
So keywords. So in keywords, I'll just put this here. You have specific keywords. Specific would be anything from basically 3 to 5 words, right? So Young President Organization and maybe 1 or 2 more words, or just Young President Organization, right? Broad would be something like make money online. Very broad. But with that, you can see how now with this visual, right? With the targeting timeline, when you start, you're very niche, Your audiences are very, these are the cream of the crop right here. This is where you're going to have the highest return on ad spend when you first start to give you the best chance of winning out the gate. As you start expanding up, let's say you don't have YouTube audiences, let's say you don't have remarketing lists, let's say you're not running any ads right now, you're just starting from scratch. You want to start with keywords. You want to use specific keywords, you want to use broad keywords. Broad keywords are 0 to 3 words. And then you want to use competitor keywords. So the way you do this, well, Casey, you just did this, right? So you had like 5 names of your competitors as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just
Did exactly what you showed me.
yeah, so who are your competitors? Take their 3 to 5 names and just throw them in a campaign by themselves. And now if they have YouTube channels or someone else has created content on their name, tag them in their video, you'll now show up before that video with your ad. They have your audience. Take them.
Can you make a specific broad competitor all as an individual campaign, separate?
Yeah, all individual
Separate.
campaigns, yeah. You don't want to have more than 3 to 5 keywords max. Some people say 1 keyword per campaign. Some people say I'll just stuff them all in there. I've found a sweet spot with us at adspend.com where 3 to 5 is the best. That's just what we prefer, but everybody has their own, tactic, and all of them work. It's just whatever you prefer. Competitors, broad, specific, and then those are pretty much the ones I would start with. Oh, yes. All right, so now what you want to do is once you have the keywords, now you do what's called custom segment audiences. And custom segment is how you can really get specific, how you can really get dialed in. So if you're just starting out, you don't have any YouTube audiences, you don't have any remarketing lists, you want to start with keywords as your number 1, and your keywords set up your custom segment audiences. So custom segment, in Google's terms, there's what's called custom segment, and you can click a box that says people who have typed any of these keywords into Google, right? So anyone who's searching for Young Presidents Organization, you can put that keyword in a custom segment audience with that box clicked, and now you'll show your ads to anybody who recently searched that when the next time they're on YouTube. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
Do you like to just stuff that, or do you do one of those per campaign?
We do, so like we'll do all of these in one of them. So like specific keywords, we'll have like usually 5 keywords in the specific campaign. We'll take those and create a custom segment from it. And then we'll do the same for broad. Then we'll do the same for competitors. So now we have a custom segment of specific keywords, broad keywords, competitor keywords. And the way I've outlined it for everyone here is because you do the keyword research first. This helps you shortcut the custom segment research because you've already done the research. Now you just take the keywords you found in this one, you plug them into their own audiences here. So you have one specific custom segment campaign, one broad custom segment campaign, one competitor custom segment campaign. And now you take those custom segment campaigns and you put them in their own campaign. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you only put the keywords that have shown themselves to be successful in the custom segment, or you just dump them all in?
Dump them all, yeah.
And how many is there a maximum?
We do like 5. Yeah, so like 3 to 5, depending on how much we do in the research phase.
What volume size are you looking for on the keywords?
It's a hit or miss with that. I mean, usually 100 million, but it depends on the niche, right? Like,
Mine was really low.
yeah, I mean, but it'll still spend. I mean, sometimes it doesn't even show a volume. Yeah.
Don't be worried about that.
You just gotta test it, and if it doesn't spend, then it's adding more, maybe taking some out, right? So it just depends. Some of them that don't have any search volume, they take off. Some of them have a lot of search volume, they don't spend.
You got to look at YouTube as like your audience is there and you're just cutting a slice of it, right? And that's going to be by your ad pulling them in, right? So don't look at it as like where I see a lot of people go make a mistake is they think it needs to be so specific, right? When your ad is going to do most of the pulling people to your funnel, right? So even if you just target people like tax saving strategies, right? And you have an ad. Are you a business owner that makes more than this, looking to save money on taxes? I'll help you get your taxes down to 0, whatever, right? You're pulling that person through your funnel, right? Rather than targeting a specific organization or something like that,
And now we'll go into placements. So under custom segments as well, there's what's called affinity. So there's basically search custom segments and then affinity. And affinity is like Facebook interest audiences. So how many of you guys got all your interest-based audiences on Facebook disabled or gone, right? I was talking to someone at lunch, all their Facebook interests. Yeah, you talked about it, String, in school. All the interests got disabled, right? Well, with Google Ads now, I mean, this has been a thing for a while, but custom segments is what affinity, so you can check a box now instead of the search one, it's people with any of these interests. So now you can take these same keywords you've done the research for and create affinity audiences with those same keywords. Those are much, much bigger pools of people that can go a lot broader. Because now look where we are in terms of the scale, right? We're at this point instead of just down here. And then once you have these two running, you want to go to placements. And placements, I start with those like in the middle because people, it depends on your niche as well. I don't like starting with placements. Placements is basically you taking a number of different YouTube videos and putting them in one campaign and saying, I want to show my videos on just these videos, or my ads on just these videos. Sometimes they won't spend, sometimes they won't, work too well. I like to do that after I've already proven this right here. Then I go to what's called where ads showed inside my dashboard, and I can select all of the videos that already have conversions for my offer and put those into another campaign because they're proven now. And I can create campaigns with just those proven videos.
Seeing what's worked in a broader sense.
Boom.
than dictating.
Now I get specific and just target those videos. And now I'm targeting them because they're already being targeted by the keywords, they're already being targeted by the custom segment, but now I'm bidding on the placements too. And these won't compete with each other because you're using them in the same ad account.
This is a more theoretical question, but let's say we're a business owner, we just don't have time to do this, or we don't have someone on our team kind of going through.
Yeah.
Does your company execute and plan all this like a done for you type service? Just curiosity.
Yeah, we have it done for you and we have it done with you.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So is that different than what you just mentioned as far as because it's all the same ad account, they don't compete with Facebook, they do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've confirmed this with the Google reps that work with us. As long as you're running the same campaigns in one ad account, right, you won't compete with each other.
Yeah.
But if you have another ad account running the same ads to the same offer with the same targeting, those will compete. And I actually recently learned, even though you can do it, it's actually against policy and you can get flagged from circumventing systems, which is what we'll talk about when we get into this as well as policy. So it's actually not, because a lot of people will approach us sometimes and they'll say, I'm already running ads on this account, I'm already working with this agency, I want to work with you guys, but I don't want you to get access to the agency's account that they're running in. So I want to create a new account and have you guys run ads in that new account fresh. And now we tell them no because of the policy. And the worst thing that can happen is we say yes to that and then their whole operation gets shut down. So something to keep in mind. Personally, I've done it though in the past, but now that we've confirmed that, we just won't. I would highly recommend you just don't do that.
Since a lot of these videos are not being shown on their websites, should we worry about the thumbnail? Is that not going on now?
100%, yeah, so thank you. The thumbnail. With the thumbnail, you want to make it a YouTube video thumbnail, right? Yeah, thank you, yeah. Thumbnail is basically just like a YouTube video. You can go on Fiverr, you can have someone do this for $5, maybe even less than that, honestly, for 5 thumbnails, and you just, when you're uploading the ads to your ads YouTube channel, you upload that thumbnail as well. And that'll make sure that you're really just set up for success with YouTube ads from your ads channel. So you want to make sure you have an actual thumbnail. Sometimes without a thumbnail it can work, but I think a thumbnail just, from our experience, it's worked better.
Yeah, it seems like the click-through rate when it's on the site is only like 0.07, but if it's on YouTube, it's like 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
So that just gets combined into that.
Combined, yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, the only way you can really get around it, basically it's like, how do you just show your ads on YouTube as opposed to these third-party websites because they're now responsive? The only way, people are actually developing softwares on this right now. I haven't found a good one yet. If I do, I'll let you guys know. But it's really just manual work. You just, at the end of every single week, you go into where ads showed and you'll see a bunch of websites that your ads showed on. You take all those and you exclude them from your account. You just keep doing that process over and over and over again. And then over time, you'll diminish that a little bit more. All right, yeah, so placements, and then you got, then you have similar audiences. Similar audiences are Facebook lookalikes. These can work really well. And again, they're more broad, so they're on the broader end of the triangle. Shout out to O's. And then you have topics, in-market audiences. In-market audiences topics, and then life events. So where you guys really want to be is if you've been doing these for a while and you're spending anywhere from, you know, 1,000, 2,000, or more than that a day on YouTube ads, you almost want to reverse focusing on this and start focusing more on this. This is what most people don't do enough of, which will help you reach this scaling point and be able to reach a mass market audience. And the cool part about it, like Oz explained in the last mastermind, was the more you spend, the more you have to broaden out your messaging. So this should be the focus now when you're scaling, is the creative. The more you refresh the creative and you broaden out your messaging, the better it'll do to a more broader audiences. A lot of people say, how do I scale YouTube ads? Whenever I go from $100 a day to $200 a day, things break. Well, the reality is it's because you're being so specific with YouTube. And Alex Becker said this really well to somebody else in the comment the other day. YouTube is a much broader platform. It's easier to get success with Facebook ads first. I mean, this will be easier now that you have this strategy, but with Facebook ads, it's a lot more easier to find these niche audiences. Whereas with YouTube, it's a more broad platform, so your offer and message has to be a little bit more broad, especially if you plan on going past $5,000 or $10,000 a day in ad spend and really scaling on YouTube. Does that make sense?
If they have premium, can they not see the ads?
Yeah. Okay. Is this helpful? You guys liking this? You guys want me to leave? I'll leave. All right, cool. That's targeting. Starting budget. What's the price of your program? Right? $9,800, $5,000, $10,000. That's your monthly budget. You want to get at least 2 sales with that minimum per the month.
I know you break this down on YouTube, but
Yeah,
how many
like
campaigns should you be running when you're starting?
5.
5. Just
Yeah,
5.
5.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you could do more. There's the optional, right? So for example, if we follow this right here, this is one campaign, 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 so that's 5 audiences right there. But if you don't have these two, you have 1, 2, 3, and then you have 1, 2, 3 of the custom segment affinity.
All right, so each one of the steps is its own campaign.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so the structure is its campaign. Let me see if I can remove this. So we're done with this. So now we'll go into launching and how to launch with the best results possible out the gate. And this is the structure of the campaign as well as the budget and the, you know, launching. So you have a campaign. And you have an ad group. And then you have the ads. The campaign is where you choose the settings. The campaign is where you choose the budget. Budget, the goal, and the bidding strategy, and then the settings. The ad group is where you choose the audience. This is the targeting that we just went over here. So this could be keywords, this could be custom segment, this could be in market, and you want to have one audience per ad group, right? So what does that mean? If you're doing keywords and you're having 3 to 5 keywords in that specific subgroup, you want to have just that keyword. You don't want to combine it with custom segment and in market until you're at like scale. So you want to have one of these 3. You want to have one audience per ad group. And then you want to have 3 to 5 YouTube ads. I recommend 5, so we'll just leave 5 actually because that's what I told you guys. So 5 YouTube ads. And then what you want to do for the goal here, the goal is to optimize for leads. The bidding strategy is going to be maximize conversions when you first get started. Maximize conversions. And then the settings are pretty easy to set up. I mean, you really don't have to worry about that. It's just like just setting up your ads pretty much. So leads, maximize conversions. And then when well, does that make sense? Any questions on that? And then for testing, once you launch, don't touch anything for 3 to 4 days. You want to wait 3 to 4 days. And the thing you got to keep in mind with Google, Google will never spend more than your monthly allocated budget. So if you're starting with $500 a day, in that month, it'll never spend more than 15 grand. 500 times 30, 15 grand, right? But on a daily budget, you might spend more or you might spend less. And a lot of people freak out here. They say, Google Ads doubled my budget on the first day. I paused all my campaigns. What the hell? But then like, I'll tell them to relaunch them, and then they'll wait the 3 to 4 days. And by day 4, that's when the magic starts happening. The algorithm starts optimizing. And then usually you'll be close to KPI if everything you've done up until this point is according to the plan. So don't touch anything for 3 to 4 days. It'll spend more or spend less in the first 3 to 4 days, or just in general. Doesn't matter when you're just launching. But it's never going to spend more than your monthly allocated budget. Okay? And then you want to have a testing window of 14 days. So 14 days. What does this mean? Well, it means after 3 to 4 days, now you can start optimizing. Now you can pause a keyword if it's over KPI. Now you can remove one of the custom segment audiences by pausing it if it's over KPI. Now you can remove one of the in-market audiences if it's over KPI, right? But you don't want to do that in the first 3 to 4 days. And when you're optimizing, most people go and just pause the campaign. But because we have 3 to 5 keywords in one of the campaigns, usually one of the keywords will spend 80% of the budget. It's the 80-20 rule, even with the ads. One of your ad will get 80% of the budget. One of your keywords will get 80% of the budget. And what you want to do is if it's over KPI, pause that. Because you might have another one that's inside that same campaign and that ad group that's doing really well. It just needs more spend. And that's how you optimize the campaigns after you launch. Make sense? And then after, you want to, and that's what you do in the testing window, right? But you got to run it for at least 14 days. Again, because you're selling a high ticket offer here, you want to spend a budget of at least your high ticket offer, one of those. And what you want to establish here is your lead to purchase window. Your lead to purchase window is how long on average does it take one lead to convert into a client. And what we found with this, after tracking Hyros and analyzing the data, is that all of our clients, 50% of their conversions for clients come within the first 14 days. 50% of them convert from lead to client in the first 14 days. However, from day 14 to 60, that's when the other 50% convert. 14 to day 60. To finish that point though, if you pause your campaigns before, then you'll never have that extra, right? So that's why it's very important to build that mental framework now as discipline, because yes, we want to be profitable, but running ads is just, you got to be able to spend and test and establish this right here, because then you can finally see, okay, cool, I know that half of them will convert in the first 14 days, the other half will convert in the first, 60 days. Now I can work on lowering that conversion window down with good nurturing, good content, good emails, sales, appointment setters, reaching out to these leads and condensing down that conversion window.
Facebook ads, you tested if that ads gets approved or disapproved by just creating simple campaign ad group ad, and then if it works, then you duplicate. Here, do you do whole thing? What if the ad gets disapproved?
One of the ads gets disapproved, what do you do?
Yeah.
Well, I would just keep, well, it depends, right? If you get disapproved for policy, the framework here is if you get an ad disapproved, you just go to their help icon, right? So you go to help icon, and you contact customer support. And what you want to do usually is you want to get on a call or a chat. And if you get to their customer support, sometimes they don't do this anymore, you can also email them and basically fight the disapproval. And it's like a lawyer case, right? Someone's like, imagine someone suing you and they're like, hey, you violated this, where's the proof that you didn't do this? And most of the time it's just their backend that's flagging you for something stupid like, something you're not doing. And you want to have someone manual review. So the script here is you want to be really nice, okay? You don't want to attack them. Because if you attack them, they're not going to take you seriously, they're not going to unban your stuff. And I've done this. I've gotten really mad because what happens is sometimes what'll happen is if you get an ad disapproved, you'll get it reapproved because you submit the manual review. But then they'll disapprove it again a week later. and then all of them will be disapproved. You got to resubmit it. And then sometimes they just keep putting you down to different support people, and it's like, I already called you guys last week, you already approved it, why is this not one? Or one of the ads will be disapproved, but the other ones are all approved, so it doesn't make any sense. Again, just submit a manual review, very clearly tell them, this ad got disapproved. After reading the policy violations, it's very clear to me that this was an error on Google's end. I can prove that by screenshot, which you can upload screenshots, you can submit the evidence, and you can also submit evidence of it. If it gets disapproved in one campaign but not the others, you can just submit a screenshot showing that. So here's why. And then if you do that and follow that simple framework, you'll usually get reapproved. You usually got to be doing something sketchy or unethical to get disapproved and like stay banned or whatever. And on that policy, sorry. If it's an ad problem, what you want to do is ask specific timestamps. Can you please specifically tell me which section of this ad at what timestamp is causing this error, is causing this disapproval? And they'll tell you. They'll tell you this, you got to remove this. They'll tell you this image right here needs to have a disclaimer on it if it's a transformation from before and after. You just got to make sure you keep following up with them. This is the only thing you got to keep doing. The first time you might not get through to them. They might just give you some BS bogus answers, some customer support stuff. But if you keep saying what specifically is getting the disapproval and ask for timestamps, you can then have your editor team or your editing team remove that or replace that, and then you'll get reapproved.
You have a disapproval and you fix it. Do you update it under that same ad link? You know how you just literally change the ad link?
You can do that, yeah. Yeah, so one hack, like you were just saying, is basically you can just change one of the letters real quick, but then change it back and then just click approve or just click submit. And that could also resubmit it and get it approved as well. Sometimes it's just their algorithm that flags stuff for no reason, and yeah.
How often are you tweaking your ads? So after day 4, before day 14, like is that an hour a day? Is that 10 minutes a day? Is it?
It's no more than an hour.
Hour a day.
Yeah, you shouldn't spend more than an hour optimizing, really. Because you want to let it for the first 14 days breathe pretty much and spend and do its thing. Because you need data, especially if you're only spending 10K in a month. That's one offer, or that's one client, I should say, right? So any tweak during this first 14 days, could potentially mess up the momentum, could potentially lead to not getting a client, right? So you really want to make sure you get all this data. And especially with Hyros, because Hyros will show you the true cost per lead, the true cost per call, and the return on ad spend, which will show you where these clients are coming from. So again, the downfall of Hyros, and I hope Alex Becker is somehow watching this and he creates this, is I want Hyros to finally be able to track inside the Google Ads campaign what keyword or audience is getting the return on ad spend, because that's not available yet, but I'm pretty sure it will be because he's obsessed on improving it. And the cool part about Hyros too is it now shows you the lifetime value of your creative. So you can see how much your ad is worth to your business after 90 days, 60 days, and 30 days. And now you can use that data to start writing more ads and more hooks like that, which is pretty cool.
And I think I've burned 12 grand in the last month on placements even in countries that I don't even understand the language of the placement. Is it just select all, delete all placements? I remember where ads showed.
So did you select placements in the campaign to target those?
No, I never select placements.
Oh, okay, so you're just looking at the where ads showed.
Yeah.
Yep.
On my
in your
campaigns,
account.
and I'm like, oh, well, I spent 12 grand in the last month, and I don't recognize any of these channels or whatever they are placements. So I just delete all of those. Is that what you mean going once a week and just delete all placements?
Yeah, you could do that because you're targeting other things like keywords and custom segments, right? And like in market, and then it's just showing. It's basically saying your ad showed up on these videos, right? So your target audience is watching those videos at the time that they got served with your ad. So you could remove them, you could exclude them, but they're watching it and they've been interested in something you're offering before. So I mean, you could do that. I don't personally do that. I don't comb through them and exclude them.
So this is Google Display Network. So
Yeah,
this
there's
is
two things.
Oh, the display network.
Number
Yes.
one is the, I have a placement exclusion list I posted in Quantum, if you type that in. And
So I've got 6.
that, and that will remove kids channels and shit like that. And 2, apps, mobile app, like app network. They'll also show your ads in there, which I find you're just spending your money.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention too, if you're setting up on the targeting timeline, like an audience, right? Not keywords, but like something like custom segment. When you create your campaigns and your account setup when you're launching, when you're doing these settings, right here, when you're choosing the settings, and you have an audience, which is a custom segment, there will be something that's called optimized targeting. It's going to be automatically selected. This is Google saying, hey, we can find more people who are similar to this audience that you're targeting. It's going to expand your campaign by 15%. Do you want to do that? It's an order bump. Don't do that, especially if you're starting. You can do that when you're scaling, right?
So uncheck that box.
Yes, because you want to be as specific as possible when you first start. And what I found, what our team's found, is if you have optimized targeting on, what will happen is they'll show your ads to people who are not in your target demographic. So for example, if you're only targeting people 24 to 35, you'll get 18 to 24-year-olds. It's optimized targeting. They'll spend it to whoever thinks is going to buy, going to call, going to opt in. You have to unselect it, unless you want to do that. And sometimes it can work and it can be profitable, but that's only when the scaling.
What's it called?
Optimized targeting. It'll show up in the settings of your campaign if you have an audience. So if you already have the campaigns built, you want to go in the campaign, and then you want to go in the ad group, and then go to settings, and you'll see it.
If you want to see if it's going to hurt, you can duplicate the campaigns and have one with the optimized one
Yeah.
without, and then like see what's the difference.
Yeah, so to scale it now, right, if you have some of these campaigns working, what we always recommend is to scale, you can, exactly like what Tim said, you can duplicate one of the campaigns and then turn on optimized targeting and see how it does, right? You're just changing one variable and seeing, can it work? That's scaling horizontally. We all learned that from Sam in Accelerator. So the other way is just increase the budget. If you have limited by budget, increase the budget and it's working. The other way to optimize is, let's say you have a campaign that's not working on maximized conversions. It's double your KPI, triple your KPI. One switch you can do is switching it to target CPA. But before you switch to target CPA, you want to have at least 50 conversions inside your account. At least 50. And then target CPA can work pretty well. And that'll reduce your cost per lead sometimes in half. And then policy, 50 conversions in the account.
In the account.
Yeah. Any other questions on optimizing, scaling?
How do you do retargeting when you're not using your channel account?
Yeah, so the cool part about having two YouTube channels, you can link both YouTube channels to your ad account.
Yeah, right now.
So then you can have your organic retargeting YouTube audiences and your ad audiences from your YouTube channel. You can link both of them, and you can create campaigns for both of them and remarket to both of them. So that's the benefit of having two channels and separating them, because you can still link them. What else? Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for scaling, really, and this is what most people don't do, you just got to be refreshing the ads. Like in that triangle, right? Your message has to get broader, and I kid you not, like one of our clients, Justin Thomas, Insurance Advertising Masters, he's probably watching this hopefully, and he'll smile because I made a case study about this. He ran the same 5 ads for a year, and things started just going crazy. His cost per lead started rising, his cost per call started rising, pretty much almost out of nowhere. The reason why, he's been running the same ads for a year to the same audiences. Hasn't refreshed his ads at all. We come in, we write him new scripts, tell him how to film the ads, edit all the ads for him, launch the new ads to the same audiences, drops his cost per lead in half, his cost per call in half, his return on ad spend goes from break even at 1 to 3.5. New ads. Now, the habit I would encourage all of you to do is start refreshing your ads more the more you spend. If you're only spending $500 a day, you can get away with 5 ads for 3 months before creating new ones. If you plan on spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day, you need to up that. You need to up that. Right? And to refresh the ads, all you got to do, write a new hook. So what you can do, like you mentioned earlier with the keyword, if you find a keyword that's working, for example, Young President's Organization, you can now use that keyword in the hook and say if you're an inspiring young President's Organization member, or if you want to join the Young President's Organization, I mean, make it more sexy than that, and that'll help you optimize that keyword in that campaign with that ad that's more specific. See? And so you can also, what you can do is like string, like you found in the placement section where ads showed, you can take all those placements that do have conversions, and you can put those in another campaign, and just start testing those, right? And the other thing with where ads showed is where ads showed will show you the video titles and the channels that your ads are converting on. Take those channels and put those as a keyword in its own campaign, because you'll have a channel that has like 1 million subscribers, 2 million subscribers, and you'll see that all their content on their channel is related to your offer because it has so many conversions in where ads showed. Now you can target them as a keyword, right? Now you can show your ads on their channel, blanket target them.
So when you refresh ads and create a new campaign, what about old campaign? When do you pause it? Is it okay to wait, let's say 1 week for not running and it's not going to hurt and convert like KPI?
I'll usually never pause it if it's converting. I'll just run them side by side. Yeah, I'll just pause it if it's just starting to die, and you'll usually tell it's just not working anymore, and then I'll usually just pause it at that point. Yeah, they don't compete. And then for YouTube Shorts, what you can do is when you follow the hook, story, close framework for your ads on your scripts right here. By the way, YouTube Shorts, when they first came out and I made the post in Quantum, YouTube Shorts are here, right? What we found out was, and now it's different, with YouTube Shorts before when I made that post, they were only showing them on Android devices. And the quality on Android, no offense to anyone if they have an Android, is just lower, unfortunately. So now they're having a 50% segment of iPhone users. Now here's what we learned from our Google reps. Right now they're only showing them to iPhone users who are constantly using Shorts, watching Shorts. So most of us probably in here, unless you like those, are probably not getting targeted by them, right? But your audience is. And so with Shorts, you just want to condense the script. You see how it's like 2 minutes to 60 seconds. That has to be 60 seconds. And it has to be vertical. So
Ads on Shorts now.
yes. So instead of filming like this with Prompt Smart Pro like this, vertical. True Instagram story selfie style. 60 seconds. The hook, still 0 to 15. The story, 15 to 45. The close, 45 to 60 seconds. And you can just have your editor take this and do that on its own. You don't even have to film new ads if you don't want to. Brand new campaign just for Shorts. Yeah, you have to.
Is it the same methodology for everything else?
Yep.
Other than that creative segment?
Yeah, and it's still brand new, so as I get more data on it, I'll give you guys some information. But just taking that and condensing it down to the 60-second framework for Shorts, doing pretty well. But the lead quality is worse. I mean, Shorts.
Do you know how recently they made that change? Android?
It was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you tested like the same like when it first came out versus now?
It was bad when it first came out.
Yeah, because I tried it too. I was like, there's not
It was
much.
only Android, dude.
Okay.
And we didn't know that.
And so you've since tried it again now, and you're like seeing something a little different.
The cost per lead is lower, but the quality is not as good. So, you know, I'll probably make a Loom video on it.
It's probably like a TikTok lead.
Yeah, yeah. The cost per lead on TikTok's super low.
Yeah.
But the quality usually not the best. So, however, I think Shorts can be good for remarketing, and we're experimenting with it, but nothing solid yet. So. And then yeah, for remarketing, right, as well. A lot of people, they just have these front 5-end ads, right? Just these cold traffic ones, but they fail to have middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. And in a VSL high ticket call funnel, middle of funnel ads are testimonials, case studies, montage videos, highlight reels, and basically anything that's gonna get someone who didn't click and convert from these top of funnel ads to convert from social proof, credibility, case studies, and results. That's a middle of funnel campaign. And you want to have just testimonial 1, testimonial 2, testimonial 3 of your best clients. So like we have one right now for us. It's like Brian, adspend.com, adspend.com in the first 5 seconds. It's showing to everybody who clicked but didn't convert, right? And we do that for the same for our clients. So that's pretty much remarketing. But like one of our clients right now, Flow Research Collective, I was actually just hanging out with him earlier. That's why I wasn't here. We came into their ad account. They were already spending $100,000 a month. Didn't have any middle of funnel. Didn't have any bottom of funnel. Didn't have any new ads in the last 6 months. Script, new ads, new middle of funnel, new bottom of funnel, and they're already at a 3x going from a 1x when we came on. Just that alone. So make sure you're thinking about it holistically here, and you guys will do well.
Retargeting the VSL.
Oh yeah, it's a lot smaller, obviously, but it works. We send them back. We send them right to the calendar page. Yeah. So middle of funnel can be opt-in page back to the opt-in page if they didn't opt in, right? It could also be VSL but didn't book a call. We just send them back to the book a call page. And the way to optimize that as well is you have a different landing page for the remarketing audiences with a different headline, and that could also really help. It's just complicated as well to do that, but it can work.
So I don't sound crazy with my original question. Very I looked at the second ad that launched, and it got only put up on display. So the click-through rate was only like 0.1 because it went on display and it never made it to YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's no way to. There's no way to even know if an ad is good or not.
Yeah.
Because the click-through rate is completely different on display.
Yeah, it's terrible on display.
So there's no. Is there any?
The only thing we found to combat that is switching to target CPA, and usually that'll help. But at the same time, it's like you can just try duplicating the campaign and trying it again. Yeah.
It's so weird.
Is it running max conversions?
No, it's target CPA. But it was like it spent like $150, but the click-through rate was so abysmal that I'm like, what is?
Yeah, it's happening to us too. It's not like we're not suffering from that either. It's a lot. It's like 30% going to display for us across the board, and that's a lot of money.
Like 70%. So for whatever reason, I gave it a lot of spend in that. So the click-through rate was horrible.
Yeah. So what you can do is now that you have that in your mind, right? It's basically like, is this performing bad or is it not? It's just display. So I mean, unfortunately, I wish there was a solution right now, but there should be in the next. I have a prediction. I mean, I have people that are working on that. Not me personally, but friends. So I'll let you guys know. And if you have anyone, Tim, let me know as well.
Do you set and run middle of the funnel campaign at the same time? When do you run that middle of the campaign?
Not when you launch, no. When you have, when you're basically spending money, you're getting calls booked, you're getting clients, and you have a significant audience size to do so. Because there's only so many people that visit your VSL page, right? You need at least 1,000 people on a remarketing list to serve ads to them. 1,000 people that land on your opt-in page, 1,000 people that land on your VSL page. So that's when you start showing remarketing lists.
So I'm not sure if my question made sense when I said about, have you ever set the VSL as an ad and used it as retargeting?
Yeah, not the full VSL, the first 3 minutes.
And say like to continue watching, click here, then send it to.
You have an end screen with the continue watching, click the link.
And then does that go to a timestamp on the existing, or do you have to have a different page that it goes to that starts at that 3 minute?
We just take them right to the opt-in page.
Oh, and they just start the VSL again?
Yeah, because the VSL is like the highest converting sales that you have, right? So what we do is we just take the first 3 minutes of it and we run it as an ad. And then continue watching, opt in.
And you use that only for retargeting or also for cold?
Cold. Usually it's the best ad too sometimes. Yeah. So like Tim just said, one hack you guys can do if you have a VSL, take the first 3 minutes of it, make the last 10 seconds continue watching, click the link. That's one of your ads. Send them to the opt-in page. Anything else?